Good evening, everyone. Sorry about that. Apparently I've got to be not my business page to go live like this. That must be the trick. Now I know. Went live as Shezike and it wouldn't let me go landscape like this. So, okay. So, I'm Cheryl Algie from Kerrang in Northern Victoria, Australia. And I saw Laura Beecham. Laura's, what does she call herself? Laura's Thursday Crafty Tricks. It was a few weeks ago. So I struggled with this one because my strips weren't, it just wasn't working. So I've worked out something that will work for me, and I'm doing it my way, doing it a little bit differently to what Laura did. She put seal all over it, but I like a bit of wiggle room. Everyone knows, or everyone that knows me knows, that I'm a bit of a seal person, but for this card I fancied just using liquid glue so that I could wiggle my strips, and I'll tell you as we go along what I've used. So my dilemma was that my strips ended up being too small for the width of the card. Even with the first one I made, which I'll quickly show you, which I had to cut down to be, well, I wanted to make it like she did, and it's the American size, 5.5 by 4.5, I think. 4.5, is it? And even then, my strips, I had to end up cutting it down. Yeah, 4 1/8 I've made mine. And that is 5.5. But as you can see here, my strips aren't all 1/2 inch. I had to cut bits off the edge to for it to fit. So anyway, we'll go more into that as we make the card. So I've tried some different widths. I've made quite a few. Well, I haven't finished them because I've got other things on the boil at the moment. I've got too many things. So I have half made them just to try and get my widths correct. So I found that if I used, because I normally make a metric size card, A4 size, I normally do 14.9. So I had to resort to trying 15.5 and then cutting mine down so that it would fit. So, and I'm also not just using the sized strips to fit like Laura did, because I found that I was having to cut down the edges anyway. So if I have these pieces hanging over, this was just a short bit because we're supposed to be using up cardstock. Hello, Miss Sharon. Did you work out that card yet? I gave Sharon a card for her birthday, and she was coming to class, but then she wasn't well. So I said, oh no, I have to tell you how to open it. And she couldn't open it, so she came and visited me the other day to ask me how to open it, and I gave her the stuff and digits to do it herself. Now I think got a bit waylaid there. I think we could have a brownie one in there. What Laura did say was not to have your second one and your second last one the same-ish colour, because we're going to cut this off and flip it around. Has anyone seen this type of card before? And I'd like to, if you make this card, I'd like to see how you go, whether you had the struggles that I had. Now I can't do that because that's, let me look. Yeah, my second one in will be green and that second one is brown, so I should be okay. Or I could use, that might be what I was meant to do, use the blue. Might use the blue side. Just to get something a bit different. I probably should have used the other side of that one too. Drat. When I'm talking away, I forget what I'm doing. Anyway, it'll still work out the same. I had to, sorry I'm running so late today, I had to go and re-stamp. I'm just, yeah, that's a bit enough of a difference, I think. Or will I do that? Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, that or that. This or that. That or that. Much of a muchness really, isn't it? That one looks a bit shorter. It's deceiving. I did actually Google why this wasn't working. It said because you lose your width when you cut things. So I don't know if that's right or not. Seems to be, because every time I did it, I'd have a different, it wouldn't measure up to be the same, but because I've started with 1/2 centimetre longer than I need, when I cut this edge off, it's okay. And see, I have gone, somehow or other, I have gone a little bit crooked there because that's not matching up. But we're going to fix that, so that's all good. Did I go too far over there? It doesn't matter. Finish with my glue gun now, so I'm going to put him away. That should be all good. Now I'm going to turn this over and chop off my bits. I'm not bothered if this is a little bit like a fraction, it doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, it was 10 centimetres wide, or you could get away with 4 inches if you're using US size cardstock. Now I might just chop that edge off because that's not straight, because I want to chop that edge so that that's straight. So let me just straighten that up, because we have to cut this down anyway because it's far too wide for my card. Now that should be straight, and we'll cut this one so that's straight too. And we'll see what we've got. It's then I just cut it down to 14.9, but I just chopped a little off each edge, just a little. No measurements here, just a little. That much. And if we flip it around and cut, should be able to cut it to 14.9, and it should be, oh, it's not going to be, it's a bit, just cut another smidge off, will we? I'll cut another smidge off. And where's my card base? We'll see how we're going. I think that's pretty good. I think. I don't want it any wider. think that's still a little bit crooked. I need to straighten that up a bit and it should be all right then. See if we can do that on here. Not quite exact, but close enough, I think. I could take a smidgy bit off there. I don't know if this trimmer will do that. I might just go over to my tabletop one and hopefully haven't wrecked it. You did work it out. Oh, aren't you clever? There we go. Now we need to cut off. Did I finish telling you what my measurements were? So I started with a 15.5-inch piece, matte piece, and my strips were 1.7. So I'm going to do 1.7 with this too, I think. Be a bit fatter than what she had, but let's see. I may have made this piece too wide too, I'm not sure. So then this one gets, let's see, yeah, that's right. This one gets adhered here. Adhered here, that's a bit tricky, isn't it? Can you see all this time? Push that up and use my grid lines to try and get this centered and correct. A feeling that might have been a bit wider, but anyway, you'll get the idea. I won't muck around cutting more off it now that I've glued it. And then what we do is turn our piece, so that was that way, then we turn our piece that way, put some dimensionals on here. Be nice if they matched up. Mine don't in this case, they're supposed to. But you can't help bad luck, they're not. Well, my other ones did pretty much. Anyway, we'll just go with it. We can't be here all night redoing and redoing a card, and no one's gonna take any notice. They'll think this card is really cute. So just make sure you're not flipping the wrong piece. That's kind of way out, isn't it? I don't know why that happened. Anyway, it did. So now we need to decorate, and now we need to put this here. So I like to flip mine over because we don't want to put dimensionals here. We only want them here. That was a little bit tricky too. I did have a piece of black here. We want black. We won't. Just use my small ones, and I like to pick them up when I've got to place them where you can't see them. I like to pick them up with my take your pick tool. It helps me know where they're going. I'm going to put one there. One up there. And a rainy old day today. Been promising us rain for a few days now, and we're only just getting a good drop today. So hopefully the farmers, if they've had enough fuel to get their crops planted, will be happy. Now, I like to flip this over, and where I've got my fingers, I know that I haven't got any dimensionals, hopefully. There we go. And I have stamped out some things. This is not the fishing paper. I'm not using that, only for the fact that I'm supposed to be using up scraps for this card, and I haven't used much of it yet. And I've got a class on Saturday that I'm taking, so I've got someone else's, it's the Stampin' Lounge's class, so I haven't cut up yet, so I didn't want to use any pieces that I might need. So this is the Nature Walk paper, and then I had to go stamp more cups and things because I'd used the wrong colours. I'd used the colours for the relaxing waterside paper, but not this paper. I don't know where I want that. But I thought I might tuck one or maybe two of those. Did I cut out two? I reckon I did. Which are from the relaxing waterside, but you could use whatever you want. And I thought maybe I have not made this actual card before. I've made a couple, but I haven't made this actual one, so I might put him there. Or maybe put the seagull there, the bird, whether it's a seagull or not. And I did do, where is it? I did do a cup and a book in Blueberry Bushel and a cup in Peacock, because there's peacock on there. So we've got that a bit crowded, haven't we? What if we put book in the cup? I feel like it's a bit crowded, or it needs a bit more or something. Maybe we want another flying bird. We want two flying birds. Don't suppose that needs to be on the thing, does it? Let me fiddle with this a bit more. Put my bird there. My grass there. My cup there. This birdie there. I think that's better. Now, just get it stuck on. So I probably don't want glue on the bottom reed, do I? Or ball brush, or whatever they're called. It's just, that's where I might use. Because I picked that up, I might just put that on the cup, just gently. Might use that piece of black here. Let's chop that off. I'll grab the other one, put that in there so I don't forget where it is, and glue him down. Where's my seal? Of course, now I've forgotten where I had that. Move it over a little bit. Push him down a little bit. Now, birds. Can have him just by the reeds there, and I want that there, maybe that there and that there, yep, maybe something like that. Can't exactly put a chair there because it's too big, and I could have, if I had to use the other paper, I could have probably cut some little things out of the paper. That was my original plan, but yeah, I wanted to use up some DSP, not just cut bits off and, well, not waste it, but when you're practicing, when you haven't done this card before, I don't like to use my good stuff sometimes. I'll do the bird. Yep, I did. Let's put him just there so he's not competing with that dimensional. This came from Cutest Crew, which I have misplaced. Can't find it. One thing about the new packaging I don't like, because they're harder to find. It'll be floating around somewhere, but because I took it out of its packet, I can't find it. Found the packet, but I can't find the stamp set. And this is Relaxing Waterside is what I've used for the rest of it. So we go just there. There we are. So our card almost finished. Oh, I need an inside. Did I have an inside? I didn't think of that, did I? Till just now. How big's this? Might be too big. Yes. We'll just cut this down. We'll just do some grass on it. Cut it down to 14.4. Because this is thick white, we probably didn't need to do that, but I like an inside piece. I think it finishes the card off nicer, and if you make a mistake, you can flip your piece over. You don't have to start all over again. Alright, reeds. I didn't put them away for a purpose, for a reason. Might as well grab an envelope too while I'm at it, so I can do the envelope as well. Some stamp anything. I don't want to make a mess on my new paper there. Not yet anyway. Use it a bit more first. Do that and stamp off there. Same on the envelope. Just make sure it's up the right way. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far, that high up. My eyes aren't seeing properly. Can I do that? Maybe that. Doesn't look as nice, I know, but just fixes that a bit. Just misjudged. Stamp my name on the back in a sec as well. I'll show you the other ones that I did with the Cutest Crew. I don't think this card needed embellishments. It's not getting any anyway. Not right now. I might change my mind later. So I'm quite happy with that. Looks cool. And I showed you my little birdie one. I love this one. It's gorgeous. And I was practicing with this size, so I did the same. And that is the Full of Life paper. I'll show you that one. Well, I'm truly retired, but that was one of my favourite papers. I have stacks of it left over. Stacks of it. Love it. Love bright colours. So, and I have got, how many have I got completed? I've got this one that I use the wood grain, is it wood grain? Wood something. Country Woods even? Yeah, Country Woods paper, this one. Don't know if it's still on the website. You've just got to look and see. See, these ones I've got my pieces pretty much lining up, so I don't know what happened with this card. And I love the little, this is the first time I've used the little doggy ones. First time I've used that, so love that one with the little doggies. So I hope you enjoyed my card. Here's another practicey one. I've got a couple to finish, haven't I? So thanks for joining me, everyone. Whether you're watching live or whether you're going to watch my live later or on YouTube, I thank you very much for your support, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.